Welcome to our video, where we'll uncover the 20 must-have supplies to survive the 2025 blackouts. Are you prepared for what's coming? With power outages becoming increasingly unpredictable, it's crucial to be ready to keep your family safe, comfortable, and self-reliant. From essential tools to critical food and water resources, we've got you covered with everything you'll need to face the unexpected. Stick around because you don't want to miss these life-saving tips. If you find this video helpful, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more survival content. Let's get started. 1. Portable solar generator. Alright, here's the deal. When the 2025 blackouts hit, you're either prepared or you're not. And if you're not, trust me, you're gonna hate yourself. One of the absolute non-negotiables for survival is a portable solar generator. Why? Because this little powerhouse will keep you alive, period. Blackouts aren't just a matter of sitting in the dark waiting for the power to kick back on. They're about survival. You need to keep critical appliances like fridges running so your food doesn't spoil and medical devices powered to, stay breathing. Cold weather? Dry your tears and plug in your heater. It's your safety net when the grid fails. Now, not all solar generators are created equal. If you buy some basic, flimsy unit to save a few bucks, don't come crying when it dies after powering a lamp for 5 minutes. Here's what you should look for. First, high storage capacity. This is non-negotiable. If your generator can't store enough juice to power your fridge or other critical appliances overnight, it's useless. Why even bother? Think big when it comes to water mills. We're talking units that can handle the essentials for as long as possible. Second, speed. Solar recharging speed is another huge factor here. Some generators are so slow at recharging you'd think they're powered by snails on treadmills. Not gonna cut it. You need solar panels that are efficient and fast. When the sun is out, you want to soak in every ounce of energy you can. Blackouts don't announce themselves, so when it hits, you've got to be ready. Third, versatility is a must. Look for multiple power outputs: USB for phones, AC for bigger appliances, and DC options for things like portable coolers. One generator that can handle it all. Do your research, read the specs, don't just grab the first one in your price range. Here's the bottom line. A portable solar generator doesn't just keep your gadgets running, it keeps your life running. It ensures you don't have to sit in chaos, drowning in spoiled food and freezing in the dark. It gives you control, a sense of normalcy and comfort when everything else feels like it's falling apart. Don't be the fool who skips it. Get one and get the right one. 2. Emergency lantern. Blackouts aren't just inconvenient, they can turn dangerous in a heartbeat. You think stumbling around in total darkness is fun? It's not. That's exactly why an emergency lantern isn't just handy, it's essential. It's your beacon of light when everything else fails. Not having one during a blackout is like driving blindfolded, reckless, stupid, and begging for disaster. First off, if you're not getting a lantern with at least 1,000 lumens of brightness, you're wasting your time. You need something powerful enough to light up an entire room, yard, or even a small campsite. A dim light isn't going to cut it when you're trying to find gear, fix something, or keep an eye on the situation unfolding around you. Go big on brightness, or be prepared to sit in gloomy shadows, wondering why you didn't spend the extra money. And here's the thing, it needs to last. A lantern that dies after 2 hours is a joke. You want a device with long run time, something that's in it for the long haul, not just a quick burst. Look for models that offer multiple power options because you never know what conditions you'll face. Solar recharging is fantastic during the day, batteries are a classic backup, and a hand crank is your last resort savior. If your lantern has these 3 options, you're golden. If not, you're taking a dangerous gamble. Another no-brainer? Waterproofing. Because guess what? Emergencies don't care about the weather forecast. Flash floods, torrential rains, even snowstorms. Your lantern has to work through it all. Those cheap lanterns that die at the slightest hint of moisture? Leave them on the store shelf where they belong. Here's the kicker. An emergency lantern isn't just about convenience. It's about staying safe. It's about avoiding trips, falls, and injuries while navigating in chaos. It's about being able to signal for help if things get really dicey. Visibility is survival, plain and simple. Short version? Don't cheap out. Invest in a hardcore, reliable emergency lantern with all the key features: brightness, long-lasting power, waterproofing, and multiple charging options. When the lights go out, this little hero will make all the difference. Don't try to wing it in the dark. You'll regret it, period. Get the lantern. 3. High-capacity power banks. You want to survive the 2025 blackouts? Then wake up and listen. Your phone isn't just for TikTok binges anymore, it's your lifeline. GPS, emergency calls, news updates. None of that works if your phone's dead, and relying on just one bar left is the stupid kind of gamble you don't want to take. That's why high-capacity power banks are a survival must. Not an option, a must. Here's where most people screw up. They buy some cheap power bank that barely charges their phone once. No, absolutely not. You need a power bank with serious capacity. Minimum 200 mAh. And I mean minimum. Anything less and you're setting yourself up for failure. A good power bank can charge your phone multiple times, not just one sad little bump of juice. And it's not just about your phone. Think about tablets, rechargeable radios, even small medical devices. You want a powerhouse that has your back no matter what. Next requirement? Multiple charging ports. You're not the only one who'll need power. Family, friends, maybe even neighbors will be vying for a piece of that charging lifeline. You can't have everyone standing in line waiting to charge one device at a time. Get a power bank with at least 2, preferably 3 output ports so you can keep all your essentials running simultaneously. USB-C, regular USB. You need versatility here. Now listen carefully. Solar recharging capability is the ace up your sleeve. Look, during blackouts, wall outlets are useless, but the sun? That's free, it's endless, and it's begging to be used. A solar-capable power bank lets you recharge off the grid, which can literally be a lifesaver. Sure, solar charging takes time, but it beats the hell out of staring at a dead battery hoping the power comes back. Here's the thing about power banks. They don't magically stay charged. You need to check and recharge them regularly. None of this forgot it in a drawer for a year nonsense. A power bank with 0 charge is just a brick. Every month, plug it in and make sure it's ready for action. Bottom line, a high-capacity power bank isn't negotiable. It's electricity in your pocket when the grid goes down. Get one and make it the right one. Anything less and you're gambling with your safety. Spoiler alert, gambles don't usually pay off. 4. Stockpile of batteries. If you think batteries are optional in a blackout, you're dead wrong. Literally. Batteries are the lifeblood of a blackout survival kit, plain and simple. No excuses, no shortcuts. Without them, your flashlights won't work, your radios will stay silent, and all those fancy survival gadgets, useless junk. You think hand cranking your flashlight in an emergency sounds like a good time? Think again. Here's the deal. When we say you need a variety of batteries, we mean it. AA, AAA, 9V, and D cell. You need them all. Flashlights? Probably AA or D. Emergency radios and headlamps? AAA. Smoke detectors? 9V. Forget just grabbing a random pack of AAs and calling it a day. Evaluate what devices you have, figure out what they need, and stockpile accordingly. And don't go cheap here. No off-brand leaky batteries that die after a week. You need batteries that last. Full stop. Now, here's the crucial part. Storage. You're not just tossing batteries into a junk drawer and hoping they'll work when you need them. That's amateur hour. Store them in waterproof cases. Yes, waterproof. Because trust me, when disaster strikes, the last thing you need is a ruined set of batteries because they got wet. Keep them dry, organized, and ready to grab in a second. You also need to label with purchase dates. Batteries don't last forever, even the good ones. Rotate your stock like you would with food storage. Old ones up front, new ones in the back, and for the love of survival, test them frequently. Don't wait until the lights are out to realize half your stash is dead. Long-term readiness takes effort. Deal with it. Having batteries might seem boring, but here's the reality. They are what makes everything else work during a blackout. No batteries? Say goodbye to light, communication, and any sense of control over the situation. Stockpile now while you still can. The 2025 blackouts will chew you up and spit you out if you come unprepared. Don't be an idiot. Get your batteries sorted. Your life might depend on it. 5. Gravity-fed water filtration system. Clean water is absolutely non-negotiable during a blackout, and a gravity-fed water filtration system is the ultimate solution for survival. These systems don't depend on electricity or batteries, making them reliable when modern infrastructure fails. By leveraging gravity to push water through filters, they remove bacteria, viruses, protozoa, and even tiny microplastics, contaminants that can lead to severe illness if consumed. The beauty of these systems lies in their simplicity and power. All you need is a container of questionable water, and the system does the rest. High-quality models like Berkey and Alexa Pure dominate the market due to their efficiency and durability. They can filter hundreds of gallons of water before the need to replace filters arises, making them cost-sufficient in the long term. Their ability to function without added chemicals, electricity, or complex components only enhances their reliability. During prolonged emergencies, being able to process water from natural sources like rivers, lakes, or even local rainwater harvesting systems into safe drinking water could literally be the difference between survival and disaster. If you don't have one yet, you're asking for trouble. Invest in a gravity-fed water filtration system now, because waiting until the crisis hits will leave you defenseless. 6. Collapsible water containers. If you think having clean water is enough, think again. Where do you plan to store it? This is where collapsible water containers step in as a must-have for any survival toolkit. These portable, durable, and leak-proof containers are designed to store large volumes of water while taking up minimal space when not in use. Don't underestimate the importance of having water readily available. Running back to a filtration source every time you need a drink is unrealistic. During a blackout, water services often fail and clean water reserves dwindle quickly. Collapsible water containers help you preserve what you filtered, reducing needless trips to restock and ensuring you always have access to your supply. They work exceptionally well in tandem with a rainwater collection system, too. With secure seals and sturdy materials, these containers resist punctures and spills, even under rough conditions. Survival demands a certain level of preparedness, and without collapsible water containers in your arsenal, you're setting yourself up for unnecessary hardship. 7. Water purification tablets. Filters and water storage are excellent, but smart planning means always having a backup plan. Water purification tablets are your lifeline when filtration systems fail or are unavailable. Made primarily with sodium dichloroisocyanurate, NaDCC, these tablets are a chemical tool engineered to kill bacteria, viruses, and parasites in water. They're compact, lightweight, and have a long shelf life, making them an irreplaceable addition to your emergency preparations. These tablets work by dissolving in water, typically requiring 30 minutes to neutralize harmful pathogens. Whether you're drawing water from lakes, streams, or even questionable urban sources, water purification tablets ensure you won't ingest something you'll regret. Their portability makes them a perfect backup for situations where filtration isn't an option, like during hikes or when you've run out of filters. Most importantly, they're individually wrapped, ensuring they remain effective even after years of storage. They're cheap, simple, and life-saving. Exactly what survival tools should be. 8. Rainwater collection system. Counting on grid-based water supplies during blackouts is wishful thinking. A rainwater collection system provides a renewable water source that gets you through prolonged outages. These systems primarily consist of rain barrels, funnels, and diverters that filter out incoming debris like leaves and dirt. Collapsible rain barrels are especially recommended because they are easy to store and install as needed, taking up virtually no space when not in use. Even in urban areas, rainwater collection can yield significant water reserves during storms. Paired with a filtration system, this water can be made safe for drinking, but even untreated, it can be used for washing, gardening, or flushing toilets. First flush diverters are crucial components of these setups, ensuring the initial dirt-heavy rainwater is discarded before clean collection begins. This minimizes contamination risks and increases the usefulness of what's collected. Skipping out on a rainwater collection system leaves you at the mercy of unpredictable utility restarts, and in a blackout, there's no guarantee of when that will be. Install one of these systems and take control of your water supply before it's too late. 9. Portable butane stove. During a blackout, having a portable butane stove is an absolute non-negotiable. Cooking your meals or even just heating water becomes a critical challenge without electricity. A butane stove provides a safe, reliable, and incredibly efficient way to cook when the power grid fails. When choosing a portable butane stove, prioritize models with safety features such as built-in carbon monoxide detectors and automatic shutoff functions. These aren't just optional extras, they are crucial for your safety, especially in enclosed spaces where ventilation might be less than ideal. The last thing you want during a crisis is to deal with a preventable carbon monoxide poisoning incident. Another essential feature to look for is flexibility. Some models come as dual-fuel stoves, meaning they can use both butane and propane, giving you options if supplies of one type of fuel run low. This adaptability could be the difference between a functional cooking setup and a useless one. And speaking of fuel, don't just buy a stove and think you're good to go. Stock up on plenty of fuel canisters and store them properly. Keep them cool, dry, and away from any sources of heat or spark. Poor storage can lead to dangerous conditions or render your fuel useless when you need it most. Lastly, ensure you know how to operate your stove well in advance of any blackout situation. Practice makes perfect. Don't wait for an emergency to learn. Familiarize yourself with its mechanisms so you can focus on survival instead of struggling to figure out how to make it work. A portable butane stove is more than a convenience. It's a lifeline in a blackout. Waiting until it's too late to secure your setup could leave you hungry, frustrated, or worse. Be smart. Get one now. 10. Freeze-dried meals. Food is survival 101, and freeze-dried meals are your ultimate lifeline for long-lasting, easy-to-prepare sustenance. If the 2025 blackouts hit as hard as experts predict, you can count on your freezer to fail and perishable food to rot. Freeze-dried meals are lightweight, compact, and have shelf lives measured in years, not months, making them ideal blackout supplies. These meals are designed to last and keep you going when everything else falls apart. Just add hot water, which you'll conveniently be able to heat with your butane stove, and you'll have a ready-to-eat meal in minutes with zero fuss. Don't just stop with 1 or 2 packs. Stock a diverse range of meals to prevent food fatigue. Eating the same meal every day isn't just boring, it's a quick way to hit nutritional burnout, which can weaken your physical and mental resilience. Look for options that are balanced in macronutrients, proteins, fats, and carbs, to keep your energy sustained. Some brands even offer vegetarian, vegan, or allergy-friendly recipes, so there's no excuse not to be prepared for every individual in your household. Another crucial piece of advice? Don't forget to rotate your stockpile. Yes, these meals have long shelf lives, but they're not immortal. Mark the dates on each package and set a system to rotate through older ones before they expire. This ensures your meals remain fresh when the time comes to use them. And if you're thinking you'll save money by skipping out on this step, think again. Spoiled meals are useless, and degrading calories today means fewer resources tomorrow. Lastly, you can't just dump these meals in a corner and hope for the best. Store them in a cool, dry environment free from pests. Rodents feast on your survival food is a disaster waiting to happen. And before a crisis hits, try a few meals to ensure you know how to prepare them and that your family actually eats them. Freeze-dried meals might just be the most hassle-free way to secure your food supply during extended blackouts. Skip them at your own peril. 11. Hand crank emergency radio. When the lights go out and communication systems fail, a hand crank emergency radio becomes your lifeline to the outside world. Receiving NOAA weather alerts and crucial emergency broadcasts, this device ensures you stay informed in real time about weather changes, evacuation orders, or other critical updates. Its multi-pender design makes it indispensable. Solar panels for daytime charging, a hand crank mechanism for backup power, and standard batteries as an additional option. This redundancy is what ensures it works when everything else fails. Plus, many models come equipped with USB charging ports, allowing you to power up essential small devices like your phone or flashlight. Why is this non-negotiable? Because ignorance during a disaster is deadly. Batteries run out, and solar may not always be ideal in overcast weather, but hand cranking guarantees you'll access vital news when you need it most. Forget relying on apps or websites. They'll be useless in a blackout. A reliable emergency radio is small, portable, and often includes a flashlight or SOS signal for added utility. You can't afford to leave this off your survival checklist if you intend to stay informed and alive during the 2025 blackouts. 12. Solar-powered satellite phone. When the grid collapses and traditional communication becomes obsolete, a solar-powered satellite phone is no longer a luxury. It's a must. Unlike standard cell phones that rely on towers to function, a satellite phone works independently, connecting directly to satellites orbiting Earth. This guarantees you can stay connected even in the most remote areas or during total cell network failure. Not only does it keep you in touch with loved ones, but it can also be the critical tool that contacts emergency services when it matters most. Key features like long battery life make it invaluable, ensuring it remains operational during prolonged outages. Many models also support mesh network compatibility, allowing devices to communicate with one another even without satellite connections. Perfect for group survival scenarios. Running on solar power ensures you don't rely on external grid electricity or any dwindling fuel supply for charging. The takeaway here is simple. If your plan is to stay isolated and wait things out without a means to call for help, you're not planning to survive at all. A satellite phone paired with renewable solar power eliminates this dangerous vulnerability. Relying solely on traditional technology is a recipe for disaster in a high-stakes situation. 13. Emergency cash. Think digital payments will save you in a blackout? Think again. When ATMs are down, banks are offline, and card readers don't work, you'll need old-fashioned cash. Cold, hard, tangible money. Emergency cash in small denominations like 5s, 10s, and 20s ensures you don't face issues with merchants declining large bills or having no change to offer. Whether purchasing essentials like food and water or bartering for supplies, cash is king in any disaster scenario, especially during a prolonged blackout. The lesson here is straightforward. Without cash, you might as well be invisible. Digital wallets and cryptocurrency won't buy you a single gallon of water when electronic systems are offline. And don't even consider relying solely on barter. While trading goods can be valuable, cash is universally understood and accepted in a crisis. Keep your emergency stash safe in a fireproof, waterproof box and spread it out across multiple locations to mitigate theft or loss. When the blackout hits and chaos ensues, those who didn't prepare will scramble. Don't be one of them. Emergency cash is your safety net against the inevitable collapse of the digital economy. It grants you access to resources and peace of mind when all else fails. Prepare now, or regret it later. It's that simple. 14. Solar-powered security cameras. When the lights go out, security becomes a primary concern. Solar-powered security cameras are a must-have for keeping an eye on your property during a blackout. These devices don't rely on the grid or even a backup generator. They draw power from the sun, store it in their built-in batteries, and continue operating when everything else has gone dark. Features like motion detection, night vision, and two-way audio make these cameras versatile tools for around-the-clock surveillance. Many models also come with cloud storage, allowing you to back up footage and review it at any time. Pair these with reinforced door locks and window security bars to create multiple layers of defense for your home. Install motion-activated floodlights powered by solar energy to deter potential intruders with the element of surprise. The reality is that in a blackout, desperate people do desperate things. You cannot afford to leave anything to chance. Protect your family and your property, because when authority systems fail, you have to take the lead. 15. Self-defense tools. Blackouts can escalate chaos, and in some cases, your survival may depend on your ability to defend yourself. Self-defense tools are non-negotiable in your preparedness plan. Firearms remain one of the most effective options, provided you know how to use them responsibly. If guns aren't an option, pepper spray, bear spray, and stun guns are great alternatives. These tools allow you to incapacitate potential threats without putting yourself in unnecessary danger. Don't think owning these tools is enough. Training is key. Train vigorously. Practice firearm safety and shooting accuracy. If you opt for sprays or non-lethal devices, ensure you're comfortable using them quickly under pressure. Additionally, proper storage is critical. Keeping these tools out of the wrong hands can prevent accidents and tragedies. Take self-defense seriously. Relying on good intentions or the hope that nothing will happen is foolish. Being prepared could mean the difference between life and death. 16. Paper maps and emergency contact list. Relying solely on GPS during a blackout is asking for trouble. Digital tools are only as good as the power grid, and blackouts render them useless. Paper maps, however, are timeless. They don't need batteries, updates, or a signal. A comprehensive set of maps for your local area and broader regions will help you locate critical resources, emergency shelters, and blockaded roads. Equally important is an updated emergency contact list. Don't depend on your smartphone for these numbers, because without power, your device is just a dead hunk of metal. Write down emergency contacts, including family, neighbors, local authorities, and community support organizations. Print several copies. Laminate them if possible, and keep them in accessible locations like your wallet, car, and emergency supply kits. When communication networks are down and panic mounts, knowing who to contact and where to find help can save valuable time and lives. Forget convenience, it's survival now. 17. Non-electric medical devices. When the power dies, modern medical equipment is rendered useless. That's where non-electric medical devices step in. A manual blood pressure cuff ensures you can still monitor blood pressure levels. Peak flow meters help asthma patients track their breathing. Glucose testing kits support diabetics in managing their insulin levels, while analog thermometers are a must for tracking fevers. These tools are only effective if you know how to use them. First aid and CPR certifications should be high on your preparedness to-do list. Knowing how to stabilize injuries or provide basic care can make a life-or-death difference during an emergency. Don't assume help is on the way. Sometimes, you are the help. Store these devices in a dedicated medical kit, along with essentials like bandages, antiseptics, and medications. Forget depending on hospitals or paramedics in a citywide blackout. You'll need to handle many emergencies yourself. Prepare for the worst, because denial doesn't save lives, action does.